This video is being made in reference to some comments that I just heard over the radio. Not necessarily the radio, but a radio show. It featured a few speakers talking about issues in the black community. One main issue in particular is the predominance of single parent households and single parent female dominated households. And then there was a sister arguing or trying to get her point across with the brother. The brother was a doctor. The sister mentioned that she had gone to school, she had graduated college, and she was very successful in her own right. And wanted to address the fact that there are a large number of sisters that are successful. Sisters are extremely powerful. Sisters have an ability to focus on their goal and achieve it. Like bam, sisters can get it done. I noticed that, I realized that it was something that was amazing to me, as I left Seattle and came to Howard University. When I came to Howard University, the so-called Mecca, I don't really like calling it Mecca because Mecca is more Islamic, and Islam and black people have had an interest in history, but we'll call it the hub of black intellectual consciousness. When I came to the Mecca, I was amazed at the focus of the black woman. I was like, wow, these sisters are on it. The Mecca, I don't know the statistics, but it seemed to be 75, 80%, sisters, 20%, 25% brothers. A great ratio for the brothers, but it was just amazing to see the sisters work towards a goal. When they are focused on what they want to do, they just like zone in like a laser, and there's really no deterring them. Like, they will put you in a plan if they meet you, and you will be there. Like, the plan typically is, all right, I'm gonna go to college now, graduate college at 22, work in my career, master my career successfully, work really hard. This is the sisters' plan. At the age of 30, I will step aside and have a baby. This is how the majority of the sisters kind of go to college and come out thinking. The problem with that, being in the area, the DC area, what I see, the problem with that is I see a lot of hyper successful single black women. These women that I know of in my personal circle, they own real estate, they have tenants, they have successful careers, and they have no children. And so there is an issue going on here. There's an imbalance in the community. Like, it's really positive that sisters from single parent homes can come out, navigate the system, become hyper successful, and have all of this material wealth, have all of this material success. But it's an issue, or it's a question, that they don't have children. And that's something that has to be addressed, or something that, is a discussion. Like, what's really going on? This could be a part of the so-called plan to help eliminate or help destabilize or keep destabilize the black community. You have a hyperly successful black woman. You have an indolent group of black men who have had massive run-ins with the law, who have issues related to their parents, who have responsibilities outside of their normal or outside of the pathway to college and career and economic growth, because the brothers, when those hormones started pumping, they got the game to holler at a sister that didn't have that focus that some of these other sisters had, and got them pregnant, and now have a child to take care of. If they're not derelict in their duties, they're taking care of that child by working a job, and that job is not affording them a pathway to college. Or, like other brothers, they're not taking care of their children, and they're out here doing whatever they're doing. Typically, this ends up being some menial, hard labor job that has no prospects of a profitable future, and they're out here doing what they do, living how they live, interpreting what they interpret in reference to their life. So it's just a very interesting situation, and it's something that I see going on a lot. I don't know how to address it, hands up to those successful single black sisters that are dominating their various fields and careers, but we're suffering in retrospect. We're suffering as a community because you're not producing children. And so what's going to happen to us? Now, you're not, by and large, in the majority, but you are a significant portion. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how we can continue with your rise and your growth and development and material success, if that's what you want. But we have to grab our brothers as well. We have to not forget about a segment of our society. Those sisters that don't want to care about the brothers and just want to focus on themselves, you will find when you get 30 that there will be no brothers for you. And this is the problem that a lot of sisters face. They say that there is no eligible, no viable black men. And why is that? That is because of systemic institutional racism. That is because brothers and sisters, our brothers in particular, haven't had a rites of passage. That's because there was no strong male figure to guide that wild male energy that begins to develop around the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. When the man starts becoming a man, when a man begins to realize that he can manifest his will on the physical plane through the use of his mind. Now, because there is no guidance there, then that brother ends up manifesting, or producing and making a reality that is not conducive to his economic, spiritual, mental growth. And so the brothers don't end up getting jobs. Now, they don't end up necessarily going into jail like, the statistics would have us believe. Like, there is a certain large segment of our brothers and sisters, our brothers, and currently now sisters are on the rise, but our brothers in jail, no doubt about that. But there's a large number of brothers that are not in jail. But what they are doing is not significant. They are, doing things with their lives that is not helping towards the growth and development of the community or their people. Now, and that's because of no guidance. That's because of no guidance. They're out here getting and working these minimum wage, menial jobs and engaging in life. They're going to the club with a job that pays 10 or 12 bucks an hour, if that, most likely 8 or 9. They're hooking up with sisters that are fly in their prime, having babies and moving on with it. And then they're living life like that. And that's a problem because they're not developing their skills. They're not really even developing their talents, because in order to develop your talent, you need time to discover what that talent is. If you don't live in an African-based system where your talent is discovered at birth, and so we know how to direct your energies so that you can manifest on this plane your soul's purpose in life, then you're not going to college, so you can take that time that you need to discover what talent you have, or there hasn't been some other form of interjection in your life for you to develop your talent, then there's a problem, because you're going to waste your life. And people that end up wasting their lives, this is typically what they end up doing. They end up, engaging in intoxicants, some type of mind-numbing activity that will allow them to get through the time. Because that's essentially what's killing them, because your talent is meant to be expressed through time. And through time, you are meant to express your talent. And by expressing your talent, you express your soul's purpose on this planet. And when you're expressing your soul's purpose on this planet, you feel invigorated. Brothers aren't invigorated. Brothers is working at these menial jobs, doing these menial tasks and activities. So when they come home, they feel like relaxing because they've done they've expended all of their energy engaged in activities that they weren't interested in. They're only doing this activity for the pay. And when you're only doing activity for the pay, it's draining. It drains your energy. And when your energy is drained, when you come home, all you want to do is relax, chill out. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what you end up doing. And then you want to relax and chill out in the ways that you know how to relax and chill out. And if you take intoxicants in order to, alter the reality that you're dealing with, that's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with intoxicants. And therefore, mind, numbing yourself, killing off your brain cells, not developing the habits of mind which will lead you to be successful in your own life. Only developing those habits which will constantly keep you in a state of needing menial employment. And take it from someone that's done it. And so that's, my thoughts on that situation. You know what I'm saying? The sisters that are focused, is so amazing. And so scary at the same time. Like, I remember going to a meeting at Howard University. Like, it was a meeting of sisters, right? And I don't know why they invited me to talk. Like, I was the president of the Society of Holistic Living and Meditation, and they wanted me to talk about holistic health and healing. That's what it was. And I was in a conversation, and these sisters were talking about success. And they started talking about pregnancy. Now, being that I am, a person that promotes holistic living, I really don't promote, sisters taking life unnecessarily. Like, if a sister wants to destroy a life that is within her, of course, that is her right. I'm not going to say, don't do it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I've been fortunate enough to not have had to go through a situation where a sister has actually taken the life of a child of mine. Now, I'm not saying anything on that. It was just very, very appalling to me to hear sisters speak in this manner that, if they get pregnant, they'll just get an abortion, like that. Not understanding the sacred nature of life. So abusing the sex function and then deciding not to take responsibility later. So I disagree with that, and that's just coming from my stance. I read Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's, what book did I read this in? I forget the book, but I know it's The Cress Theory of Color Confrontation. I think that's it, The Cress Theory of Color Confrontation. And in that theory, when she promotes a plan in which she states that, black men and black women should chill out on conjugal relations, or at the very least engage responsibly in those conjugal relations. Marry at a certain age, so we're talking about 24, 25, after college, and then begin the family. And so we have to be, if we're gonna go out here and we're gonna have sex and we're gonna constantly, be dealing with each other, we have to be responsible. Because she does not say take life. Too many lives are taken. Too many black lives are already taken. Be responsible and understand that we need the black family to survive. Like, I don't know what's going to happen and what the statistics are going to look like in 15 years, but hopefully we can get over and beyond this single black successful woman, incarcerated black hardworking man concept that's going on in our communities, because then it creates such dysfunction. And then for those of us black men that happen to navigate our way through the system, we have this concept like we're the cream of the crop. And therefore, I know few brothers that go out and we go ahead and abuse this position that we're in. We just go ahead and we just, sex up all the different types of ladies that are out there looking for, a mate. And that's just a dysfunction. That's a dysfunction, and it causes all sorts of karmic repercussions that's not needed on this plane. I mean, we can go further. I think I've said enough. That's my piece on the situation and my thoughts on the successful single black woman and being raised in a single black home and how to navigate through this world successfully. So I'll catch you later. 1, 2, peace.